Okay, Xeno's take on recruiting new members. I'm pretty sure Xeno is not the one doing recruitment in his statics, but I am still curious about his take.
I think that
There
FF
it is.
logs is
Yeah.
borderline useless. I think the most important
Wait,
I
what?
think that FF logs is borderline useless. I think the most important factor of FF logs is actually the clear date when the person cleared. So if
Not entirely true. If we're specifically talking strictly recruitment, you kind of also need to figure the fuck out how the person plays. Like, parses are fucking mean nothing, if I'm being honest. Like, it's something I've been fucking nagging to anyone looking at anyone's performance. Like, parses don't mean shit. Like, a good player is gonna be just, like, with no effort, doing blue to purple parses, as long as they're pressing their stupid buttons and just trying to do their best, without, like, gig optimizing. It's like, parses don't matter, but I... The clear date is also kind of, well, kind of matters, but it also matters to kind of check whether or not the person knows what the fuck they're doing. Like, just seeing how they're using their cooldowns, if they're using cooldowns, what's their positioning, are they greedy or not? Shit like that. It's like, if someone applies to any of my statics, it's like, I put the effort into kind of checking their logs properly.
you're going to like base something off of FF logs, make sure you look at the clear date at least. But even then, that's not indicative of the type of player that that person is.
Mm-hmm.
Also, keep this in mind for trials, guys. Whenever you trial someone, don't tell them what you're going to be trialing them in, and also trial them in a fight that is less likely to have any type of triggers or cheats or anything like that.
I'm guessing he's specifically talking about, like, week 1 groups. Well, week 1 and week 2, I guess. Because, like, yeah, you gotta practice as a group, so sometimes you will be doing different fights. I guess, yeah. That does make sense. Like, obviously, if this is, like, if you're recruiting for week 4 or week 6, or just a static in general, then you probably don't fucking care. And gonna be trialing them in the newest content. But, yeah, I can see how you would do that. But, like, that doesn't always work out now, does it? Just because of, like, some specific differences between expansions. Because you're not exactly going to trial someone for, 7.2 week 1, but bring them into, fight Chaos in Stormblood, you know? It's like, where would you bring them? If you're recruiting for Savage, you're going to be, like, looking to trial them in a Savage fight, I guess. But also, wait, hold on. What did he say about trialing them with...
Someone, don't tell them what you're going to be trialing them in, and also trial them in a fight that is less likely to have any type of triggers or cheats or anything like that.
Which fight is that, though? I already talked about this earlier. I'm fucking daft when it comes to add-ons. I just use ACT to read logs. But, like, I know people can make triggers for practically everything in the game. But, like, what fight would that be?
That if you're going to trial them, make sure that they stream their screen in Discord, because
What? Holy shit. Wait, hold on. Why, though?
you would not believe that people will cheat on their trial. And
I guess that's true. Especially, like, definitely, like, especially if you're a content creator and people want to be in your static, you know? Because, my favorite content creator. I want to be in your static. I see, like, all these, like, precautions. I understand them from his point of view, but holy fuck, that is very drastic. And you want that person to also stream on Discord? No. Don't do specifically Discord. Do it on Twitch. Have them stream on Twitch. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna have to stream on Twitch during the race. Because you're gonna need clips, right? You're not all gonna be just using Shadowplay. It's gonna be a lot more easier and beneficial to just stream, right? And stream VODs are rewatchable. You can grab a VOD and just rewatch it later as well, just to analyze it, how they move, if they're using the funny movement or auto rotation plugins. It's like, why stream on Discord though?
and why that is important is because those cheats that they use will not be available the first day, sometimes the second or even third. If I see 20 plus clear grays, I think that's an important piece of info. I think that you're mistaken because it depends on the content. So if you're looking at...
Hold on, if I see 20 plus clears all gray, I think that's an important piece of info. Not necessarily. Yeah, I agree with Zeno in terms of, like, it does depend on the content. Like, you can still clear content week 1 and parse gray, especially, like, if you're a healer, right? If you're a DPS, you might land on green or blue, right? But, like, if you're looking at someone with, like, you gotta understand, like, if they got 20 plus clears, it doesn't fucking matter if they're gray. They're getting the clears. At the end of the day, if you're going for week 1, the important part is specifically getting clears and how, you know, efficient are you at getting those clears. The grade doesn't fucking matter. I guess, like, at some points, like, DPS does matter depending on the content, but it just depends if we're getting, you know, M4S or we're getting E8S, you know?
at 20 plus grays in an ultimate, that means I would want that person. I would want that person.
That is true, actually. If someone has, like, 20 clears on a fucking ultimate, they got good fucking experience. They have enough practice to get 20 fucking clears in an ultimate. They're good enough.
Because that means that they are holding damage. That's what that means. So you see how you're suggesting? I already proved it to be wrong. Your gray FF logs means...
Yeah, actually, he does have a point, but it also does depend on the job, mind you. Viper and Reaper are functionally, like, for lack of a better word, their rotations are autistic. They got ascended. They cannot exactly hold it, otherwise they're gonna grief their own group by not holding that damage, right? Like Viper, maybe even Picto. I'm not entirely clear on how Picto works, how they optimize, but I know, like, Reapers were getting a lot of flack in top, because at the end of P2 they would just not hold and just send their burst instead of, like, saving it for P3 or specifically saving it for Omega F, depending, like, what strat your team was using. And Reaper was just constantly just fucking sending their burst. Doesn't matter, because they would honestly just have it for later.
Nothing. Means nothing. Just the same as your 100 means nothing. I've gotten tons of 100s. I've gotten tons of 99s. Nothing. Means nothing. Means nothing.
I mean, it makes me feel good. It gives me the good chemical. I never got 100. I've had, like, very rare 99s, but, like, I'm honestly happy with my little fucking purple range. At least, like, I usually finish expansion, like, just being in purple range, so I'm kind of happy. I'm good with that. I'm content.
Especially in an ultimate. Can't someone have a bad parse because of someone else's mistake? Yes. Look, man, even if your argument is sound and logical, it's just not very convincing coming from a bald person. FP Pong.
I mean, let him cook. They might have a good point there.
I mean, I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. There's just too many factors. If you ask any super skilled player, you ask any super skilled hardcore world prog player, they will tell you that the parse is the last thing that actually fucking...
It's not just, like, super skilled players. It's just, like, a leader with fucking common sense. Anyone who has enough fucking experience recruiting people and, you know, vetting the logs and just, you know, trialing people. Any raid leader who's responsible for recruitment will tell you that at the end of the day, like, unless you're specifically building a parse party, parses don't fucking matter. The logs are there to give a much different information for you specifically during recruitment. How the player performs. Do they fucking know their job? Do they have experience clearing certain job in a certain amount of time? If you're recruiting for someone for week 1, preferably you want to see week 1, week 2. So, you know, they're, like, even if they don't have week 1 experience, there's at least margin for improvement to actually push for week 1, right? How do they use their cooldowns? What's their positioning? Do they greed? Are they, like, a risk to prog due to greed? How many wipes have they had? Because, like, they might kill something week 1, but they might have gone, like, 16 hours per day and wiped on the same fight for thousands of fucking times. Depending on the group, that's not always something you want.
matters. Like when you're looking at an applicant to review his shit, that number, that percentile is one of the last things that you even consider. As a matter of fact, I would say that if you're the type of person or you're the type of group that specifically looks for that number, I would say that you're actually trash at this game.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far to say that you're trash. Like, if you know how to optimize and push some damage, that's neat. That's cool. If you're into parsing and speed killing, go for it. That's where those parts are gonna end up, right? But if we're recruiting specifically for the sake of progging a new fight and clearing it within a designated amount of time, yeah, parses don't fucking matter. They generally don't. The only time parses do matter if someone has been doing a fight and like just like the dude mentioned before, like if they got 20 plus kills and they're all gray, sure. Situationally, normally it's like it doesn't matter. If they got 20 plus kills on something, that's neat. But if someone is doing a fight and they're bis, let's say bis, they have enough gear, they had enough time, they've been doing a fight for, let's say, months, and their parses are just not improving, it also shows, like again, he's not wrong, essentially, your parses don't fucking matter, but you also need to see whether or not a person can fucking improve over a period of time. Because you also want to, improve as a player, you know? And you want to see if the player has the hindsight to kind of start improving and developing their skills in specific fights, read the fight, readjust for it, optimize it a bit better, like over time. It doesn't need to be specifically unclear, right? Actually, no, essentially it is half and half. So Xeno is both right and wrong in that regard.
That's what I would say.
The more I
and
think
the
about
reason
it.
why is because you're looking for the wrong things. If you take a person that is a parse monkey into prog, you will pay for it every time. You will pay.
Yeah, if the person is a parse monkey, yeah, fuck him. But if the person not improving, and specifically I'm talking about DPS right now. Healers are a fucking completely different conversation, if I'm being honest. But like tanks or DPS, if their parses aren't like at least slightly improving, like okay, you've cleared the fight first time on Grey, neato. Like at least in five kills in 5 weeks with better gear, you should be at least blue, right? Because blue is very easy. If you're pressing your fucking buttons, you should be easily getting blue. Green is like pressing buttons, but you just don't have enough gear yet.
Pay for it. You don't believe me? Do it. You don't believe me? Fucking do it. And you'll know what I mean. You'll know what I mean. The first day, bro. The first day, you will know what I mean, man.
He's not wrong about the parse monkeys. I had a couple of those. I had... Especially, you know what's like the worst fucking thing? The worst thing is...
That means... So
the worst thing is specifically having a parse monkey that's also shit at their job. I made that one mistake once. I'm never fucking doing that mistake ever again. I fucking learned my lesson. I brought in a black mage who seemed very nice, chill, but they also started trying to parse in top. Right? I say trying to parse. They're trying to optimize their damage, and then they start asking for really unreasonable fucking shit. Like, can they take the healer spot so they are less likely needing to adjust on towers in P1? And it's like, fucking, what now? And then you look at other black mages, they're doing fucking fine. They're not, greeting, and they're doing decent damage. That means something's wrong with the performance of this person, because that person and this person have the same gear. There's like multiple ways to look at it. Obviously, if it does make sense that you're not always looking for parses, so even if they got 20 plus clears, you might take them specifically on their performance or like what they're doing in the fight. Because again, context does matter. But you also need to look for at least some improvement. At least some fucking improvement. If they've done a fight for a while, some like at least minor optimization should have happened. Gray is good and all, but like, let's be honest. Purple still looks better.